I don't know what the hell. So for those of you, let me see if I can flip my camera. And I cannot flip my camera because live, oh shit. So it appears that my lovely wife got a big mouth at work today because someone pissed her off, because that's always fun. In any case, hope everyone's doing well this morning. This is just a quick off schedule live. And God, I'm having a pain in the ass with YouTube, y'all. Let me tell you what. Hey, good morning, good morning. Like it just decides not to show me the chat at all. And I can see there are people in the chat, and I know you're probably talking, and all of a sudden, like all the chat shows up at once. And it's like, really? Come on now. All right, well, if I don't see you, let's see who's in there. Hold on. And well, hey, Coffee. Hey, Glenn. 48 Camper. Hey, good morning. Waiting to go to work. I just came from the gym. I had an early morning call and then they canceled it. So I'm kind of like got 20 minutes of limbo before I actually have to go and change and go to work. The one good thing is when I'm covering the whole region by myself as the only engineer in my role, it's cool because like I go to the office and we don't have assigned offices anymore after Rona. Yeah, chat has been screwy. Hey, Virginia, what's going on? So we're hot desking is what they call it in Manhattan. Hey, Frank, how you doing? We have this basically like 10 offices, and it's first come, first serve. And that includes the VP. He shows up late. He gets the picnic table we have in the open area. And but I've been going, and I have visits in the morning, and then by the time I get there, all the things are taken up. There's no offices, so I'm like, screw it, I'll go home. I got like literally 3 screens plus my laptop. It looks like mission control. I gotta post a picture of it. Sorry if I missed anybody. Yeah, thank you, Coffee. I appreciate you. Hey, Glenn, John H, Bug Out Adventures. Guys, I can't scroll the chat. Like literally, if I miss you as you go by, I can't scroll it down. I'm doing this off my phone this morning, not my iPad, which is probably, I'm super late to work. Oh no, that's not good, fed up. So, folk, Bentley, somebody's making noise and somebody's way too quiet. You're Pepper, you're not Bentley. Where's the other one? Borg, get out of there. Hey, go over here before I give you a whack. I don't know what you were doing with my sneaker, but you won't do that. Terrorist. Yes, by the way, speaking of dogs, hey, Pilgrim, have you all seen Vision's got that African, it's like an African wolfhound or something. It's like a wrinkly faced puppy. And he's like, it's going to be a big dog. And I'm like, all right. So he says, look it up. And I looked it up. This thing's going to be massive. Like, this is like a 150-pound tank. Buenos dias, Deuce. What's going on? Dogs are like kids. When they're too quiet, bad things are. That's absolutely correct, Nostra. Absolutely. Now, these two here are waiting for breakfast, but I cannot give you raisins and oatmeal because technically raisins are a grape, and that's toxic to dogs. So just, well, Coffee, I'm trying, but it won't let me, like, hold on. It literally won't let me hide microphone. Like, I click on the chat and it won't let me change the nature of the chat. Sorry, I don't mean to put my finger on there and freak everyone out. Nope, that's going to change to black and white. It's not what I wanted. Nope. Yeah, it won't let me do it, y'all. Like, sometimes that fixes it. I could throw the phone in frustration, but I know it's not the phone's fault. Actually, everyone's having a hard time with the chat the last 2 weeks. My daughter's fiance, his family got chased out of the, ouch, my eye. I had English Mastiff, 200-pound female. And if they're raised right, they're the most epic dogs. They're just amazing creatures, all of them. But when the problem is stupid people raise them, right? And then what you get is a large asshole that bites people. Grand Rising and Sabner, hey, good morning, good morning. I totally massacred your name because I'm eating while I'm talking. But yeah, folks, so I put out a short video earlier. Jason, yeah. Dude, blue heelers, okay. So there's an animal that is not an official AKC breed called a cowboy corgi. And what they did, they took a blue heeler. Actually, it wasn't, they didn't take it. It was kind of an oopsie. And I think it started in Oklahoma or Texas. I don't think Louisiana, because Louisiana has different dogs. But a blue heeler and a corgi had an affair. And what they got is this corgi looking spotted potato, but it's fluffy, not like short haired. They're fluffy and they're super herding dogs, but they're also insane. So, but yeah, look up cowboy corgis. They're actually adorable. Like if I found one on the street, I'd absolutely bring it home. Hey, Nunya, what's going on? Wait, somebody said their septic pipe burst. Oh, that sucks. That's absolutely awful. Bug out. So folks, look, I put out a short video earlier. I was thinking about it. I was on the treadmill this morning and I had a good run. And a guy at my age, I either maintain myself. Hey, good morning, Macabas. Hey, Glenn. I work Tuesday to Saturday. See, that worked out. No baby yet? Well, the baby will be here soon. So, actually, I'm super excited because my son, who's overseas, and his wife, 3 months after my granddaughter is born, will be coming back to Texas to one of the bases here. And so, I'm super excited because I'll freaking road trip 12 hours across Texas to see him. We're waiting on final word on which base, but I'm super excited. So, and Glenn, I can only imagine you guys are now in panic mode trying to get the house ready for the baby. So congratulations, by the way, that's awesome. Folks, as I was saying, as you start getting older, you start to hurt a little more. It's important we keep our fitness, and the biggest trick is consistency. I actually had a coworker come in. One of them's a runner, right? So Jackson, he's playing with a toy, you dumbass. Go pick a fight with Bentley and see how that turns out. Oh, now you're being chased around the house. See how you heard the footsteps running? He went over there to bark at Bentley, and Bentley will run and kick his ass. So now they chase. Okay, now they're gonna have a fight. Watch me, I'm gonna have to run across the house to save the loofah from his own big mouth. Keep fucking with him. Watch. You're gonna hear a dog get its ass kicked here in about 10 seconds. Dude, you will lose. Bentley is so much stronger than you, man. Even though he's young, he's way stronger. There's no treats here. Go over there and be quiet. Picking fights. Anyway, a consistency for your exercise is the key. I'm sorry as hell, construction Southwest. Yeah, it's hot. It's been in the triple digits. Last night, there was like a market. Oh no, Saturday night, we went to a market, outdoor market. It was 7 o'clock at night. It was still 101. Like the sun was already going down. It was still 101 out here. It's absolutely brutal. You go out to go put out the trash at 8 and it's 97 outside. And it's just, and that goes to what I'm saying. Consistency is important when you work out, when you're exercising. Don't kill yourself. I have a lot of coworkers who are very consistent, right? They jog, weightlift, whatever it is their thing is. And we had one guy, he gained 40 pounds when he came out here because he goes out to dinner all the time and he eats garbage. And we keep telling him, dude, you're gaining weight. You're gonna keel over. And I'm not putting my mouth on you, even though you're my friend, to resuscitate your ass. I'm gonna zap you or something and see if you reboot. And he got annoyed with all of us picking on him, so he started going to the gym and he immediately hurt himself. And we're like, what the hell did you do, man? And he said, well, I was trying to bench press. Whoops, I almost knocked my own stand over. Sorry, guys. Sure, that was a head spin for everybody. We asked him, well, what the hell did you do? And he was trying to, no, I have a homestead. Well, see, and that's the other thing, Nunya. Like, if you're physically active, That's exercise, right? Um, but when you're an office guy, you need to go and be physical. Hey, oops, if you go from your office to your couch and you don't make that time to walk, you're gonna screw yourself up. And ultimately, it went. Of course, now he wants to gonna zap you and see if you reboot. I'm telling you, he's my friend. I'm not. I've known him for 12 years. I'm not putting my mouth on him. Mm-mm. I told him we're gonna shake the shit out of you. Exactly, oops. But you don't have to hurt yourself. You don't have to come on over. Actually, if you live where I think you live, I might actually be in your neck of the woods next month because Mama Bear over here, Sassy Southern, she has her Etsy store, and her wholesaler is going to be receiving a bunch of stuff for her. And to save on the shipping, we just told her, look, we want to take a little vacation anyway, so we'll go drive to Dallas. And then we'll drive. We got to hit like 3 cities, like Austin, Dallas. It's going to be like a week-long road trip. So we're going to set up. Okay, so you guys aren't that far. You're a few hours further. But we're going to be in that northeast Texas area. So we're like, we got to pick up stuff. And we want to take a vacation. So 2 birds, 1 stone. But it's just not working. So you don't have to go and kill yourself at a gym. I mean, obviously, like, Nunya has a homestead, right? Look here on the farm, right? Where you start seeing guys really have bad health issues is they work in an office environment. They're not in the field. They're not working their bodies. And if I do, I'll email you if I'm out in that neck of the woods. There are like 3 or 4 preppers, I think rescues out there somewhere. Nikki's south, in between prepping. But I got to see Texas Redleg. He actually was in West Texas for work, so I met him here. I went to Central Texas. You guys probably saw the picture. I got to hang out with Red October over a coffee. I missed Cold War Prepper because he had a commitment and I missed him. Hey, good morning, All American. I missed him by an hour. And it's just our schedules couldn't match, but we were trying to like figure out where we could meet and at least shake hands. But yeah, if you can meet the other preppers on YouTube in person, like actually say hi to people, that's nice. But yeah, be consistent because he went in and he was like, oh yeah, well, I used to be able to bench like X. So I tried to bench X. And we're like, what pendejo? What were you thinking? Now you're hurt. Now you're going to bench 0. And now you're going to be a peg leg or whatever the hell you've done to yourself for 3 days. And, he's not a young guy either. He's not old, but he's not young. And I'm like, man, you don't need injuries. Careless injuries, right? Life in general will injure you. You don't need to go and injure yourself. So folks, if you're going to start, if you guys are working on the homestead or the ranch, you probably have plenty of physical labor. And if you're working out in a field type job, you're on a drilling crew or you're installing those big ass solar panels, whatever, you're outside already. You're getting that exercise. But if you're in that office environment, I know some ladies at one of the companies I work with, is an engineer and a geologist. They're in a weird building that has an open atrium and all the offices are around. So it's like this big walkway. And one of the girls took a Apple Watch and figured out each roundabout is 1/8 of a mile. So for coffee break, they get their water bottles and the 2 girls walk and do a mile. And then they go, and then before lunch, they do another mile. And then they go eat lunch. And then they walk another mile in the afternoon instead of doing coffee. And they get 3 miles in a day. They don't kill themselves. They're not all sweaty, but they're moving their bodies. And they do it every day. And the girls are like, yeah, I lost 5 pounds. I lost 10 pounds doing this silliness. Yeah, as that's, to me, that's one of our most important things, is being as fit as we can. Because honestly, if something happens, and you imagine losing the grid. Let's just say we lose the grid for a week. Hey, Tracy. And again, by all means, chime in the chat if you think I'm off base on this. But if we lose the grid, right, physically, we're all going to have to do more, right? Our bodies are going to experience more heat or more cold, depending on what time of year it is. We're going to have to go, say, to get water and bring it if we don't have it available. Even if you have well water, say you have a homestead, you won't be able to pipe it in unless you have some kind of solar setup. So you're going to have to physically go and hand pump the water and walk back. We're going to have to do a lot more things by hand. And your body, just a bunch of little things. Right, Nunya, that's exactly it. A lot of people are just in awful shape. Being upon my knees and back are bad. Well, fed up, yeah. I got screwed up knees. That was years of Kempo and Judo. And I'm talking the old school stuff, like the Chuck Norris generation stuff where you had the white gi. And our mitts were like these sad things. And basically it was mouth gear and mitts. And you could hit and kick each other between the waistline and the neckline. So you could, the torso was fair game. You couldn't do headshots unless you kicked them in the head. And you get a roundhouse kick in the head, and that'll absolutely change your channel. But then we do judo, we do free fighting. And Sensei is like, okay, this is not sparring rules, this is ground fighting rules. So you guys, if you can submit armbar, and he'd be on top, and we just beat the crap out of each other. You do learn how quickly you can take a beating. But, you do it. Really, dude? That was Bentley again. But doing those things consistently over time, I can't I can't do that anymore because of my knees. But the stretching, the body exercises, you can definitely do. Hey, wait, somebody just snuck in on me there, and I still can't move my chat around. God, this pisses me off, y'all. I work outside in the heat from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Heart failure, lung. So I'm good. Yeah, we're in that same age group, brother. That's for sure. And welcome to Texas. But if you can, I know one guy, and he's a big old boy. He started yoga, and I'm looking at him. I'm going, if you wear spandex, I'm not talking to you. He's like, I don't wear spandex. I wear sweatpants, And he has these little sock things because he said my feet stink. I don't want to offend the ladies, and he does yoga, and turmeric and black pepper will help them knees for real. Oh wow, turmeric and black pepper. That's a good tip. A lot of people's down for it. Yeah, bug out, absolutely. Unless you lose it, then they get exercise trying to find the damn thing. But yeah, folks, even if you just take your dog for a walk, now if you're physically active all day, you don't want to hurt yourself. So in a case like that, maybe something different, like the yoga, like the stretching or the meditation, kind of bring you down. Hey, kill it. Bring it back down. But keep the flexibility as best you can. If you got those injuries, try to work around them. I'm seeing a lot of guys way younger than me. Okay. And I just hit my 50s. And like my last PT event at the Guard, and I'm the older guy, right? And other than the run, because I'm hurt, so I qualified, I passed the run at the 30-year-old age group. But I'm still hurt, right? Whippersnapper. But lifting canners all day. That technically, just bend at the knees and, do the squats while you're lifting it. Someone yesterday said witch hazel, so can tell. Oh, wow, that's interesting. See, and there's so many remedies that we don't, right now medicine is like, oh, take this pill, and the pill fixes your knees and gives you anal leakage or something. Like half the medicines they give you, have you listened to them? It's like it does other stuff. So the more fit you are, the less likely you are to have to take those meds. And you may have to take a med at some point, right? That's just part of the deal. But if I can reduce it, that's a good thing. I'm fortunate I have an internal medicine doctor, and his philosophy is I want to give you the least medicine possible. So I'm going to tell you how to live as far as eating, exercise, etc. Hey, KP Heathen. And half of the medicine, most of the problem. Yeah, exactly. Rabid Coyote, absolutely right. And he says, I want to give you the least necessary medicine. So he said, if you can change your lifestyle as far as eating right things and exercising, et cetera, then you will be less likely to have to need an intervention. And I like his approach, right? Hearing loss and bloody stool. but your hand don't hurt. Right, exactly, Nunya. Or you get random dizziness. I mean, there's one medicine. God, I gotta find it. Do you guys remember the old Saturday Night Live before they got political? And they used to talk about Happy Fun Ball, and it said, "Do not taunt. Happy Fun Ball creates may cause dizziness, nausea, anal leakage," and it just had this list of bad shit, and it was a spoof of Big Pharma. And that's basically half these medicines. I gotta find this medicine. I gotta look for the commercials, because literally among the symptoms was dizziness, nausea, spontaneous unconsciousness. So the shit gives you narcolepsy, right? You're like, oh, my back hurts. You take this shit and you're walking around and down you go. What if you're in your car and you get an unconscious incident, right? Now you're dead, or you've just wrecked into another vehicle. Now you have a whole new problem. Depression meds. Right, the depression meds that cause suicidal thoughts. Drink bourbon. It'll make you angry at someone else and you're not going to hurt yourself. And granted, I'm not making light of depression. That's a serious issue for a lot of people, but I really, gabapentin. I lost track of what they're saying. And here's another to help with what the other med cause, and that causes this. We have that too. Get angry proper to talk about side effects. Whiskey. I gotta talk to Jason actually, because I'm gonna actually be in New York City, and I told him if I go up there, I'm absolutely finding your ass. We gotta go eat. That would be funny to do a live stream of him and I, and if we can get Hudson and Catskill down to New York City from one of the buildings, like one of the high rises where we can look down and make fun of the city or something. I like his description. Half the shit he says, I'm in tears because he gets angry at it, hence his name. But I do. I really do. And Nunya, those of you in Texas, we got to do a Texas get together of some type. I'm trying to figure out the logistics of where we do that. Houston has a hurricane expo every May, and it's basically like a prepper convention. It's all guardsmen, preppers, first responders, and they have just this pile of people going there. And I'm in New York. That's right, coffee's up in New York. Oh, that's right, you are in New York. We'll have to send you an invite as well. I just put a big invite saying, everyone, we're meeting here. Just if you can make it, show up. If you don't get mugged on the Long Island Railroad going into the city, you're golden. I actually punched a guy on the Long Island Railroad. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. He was like pole dancing on people. And then he pole danced on, it was a coworker of mine, and he pole danced on her, and she pushed him, and he tried to do it again. He was like a dog, so I just gave him a quick whack. I didn't hit him that hard, but I guess he was stoned, and he just he went down, and then like on the next exit, the girl I was with, she just he was trying to get up, and she just, as the door opened, she just shoved him out the door, and then the door closed. And I was like, that was well played, young lady. Damn. Just eject. Gangrenous genitalia. Is that another side effect? Jeez. But folks, look, if you're going to do anything to motivate your Monday, be consistent. And that goes with prepping too, right? Don't go and don't do what my friend did, right? Too much weight, he hurt himself at the gym. Prepping's the same way. You spend too much, you screw up your budget, and now you have another problem because you can't pay your car payment or whatever. Budget it in and be consistent. So if every week, think about it, every week you spend $8, you can get a 12-pack of HEB black beans, I'm just as an example, for $8. It's a better deal than Sam's, by the way, for those of you in Texas. It does. It makes certain things fall off. So if you take that $10 a week, right? We piss away $10 in the first world. Think about it, right? We go to Whataburger or Chick-fil-A or whatever, there goes $10 right there. Take that $10 every week. You could eat Spam. Hey, see, I don't mind Spam. Hey, Lubbock. Bug Out is in Lubbock. I got to go to Lubbock too. God, I got to go all over the state. True story, my last job with this company, I covered all of North America, specifically in Texas. I clocked 60,000 miles in my own vehicle, which they, they reimbursed my mileage and whatnot in 1 year. And that's not including, I had to fly across the state a few times because it was just such a fast trip. I couldn't take the time to drive it. Rental cars, like it was crazy. So I spent a lot of time on the road. Lubbock is where Yano Winery is, and I'm a member of the Yano Winery Club. So I do like going to Lubbock. Lubbock's a nice town. Texas Tech is up there too, which is a fun school. It's funny, while you go there late at night and all the drunken college kids are like stumbling around by the bars, and you're like, I'm just going to park here and wait for them to fall down because it's like entertainment as they go by. Hey, Joe. But yeah, folks, your prepping should be like your exercise. It should be consistent. It should be well thought out. Don't do things that are going to get you hurt, right? You don't need to do that. Don't do things that'll hurt you financially. I just did 90,000 miles in Georgia and Florida. Well, at least they reimbursed you, right? But your truck takes the wear and tear. Somebody in one of my chats actually said that their truck was getting old. So instead of buying a new truck because of the price of vehicles now, they took out a small bank loan and replaced the engine and transmission for like whatever, 10 grand. But their payment on, because the truck was already paid for, so they replaced the engine and tranny, and their monthly payment is like $100. But basically you have a new car, right? Because he said he had a place to do his own brakes and his own shocks. The engine and transmission, he didn't have the tools for that. So he took out a small loan instead of buying a new car and having $800,000, $900,000 payment the way things are now. He has a $150 payment over 3 years, and he paid for his, or whatever many years, and he paid for his, basically he made his truck new. So, that was a smart play. But again, going back, consistency. Keeping yourself fit, but also your prepping should be the same way. Don't freak out because, some numbskull said, run up your credit card. Hey, good morning, Heroic. And I caught part of your other video, by the way, but then I keep getting work calls. Damn it, I have to go to work at times. And I was watching, I'm like, oh, this is good. And then the phone rang. I was like, and then I forgot, so I have to go back. But folks, look, consistency is important. Joe doesn't freak out. Joe causes other people to freak out. But be consistent, take your time, and just relax. Plan it out. Now, there are going to be emergencies you're going to have to react to, right? That's just part of life. A kid falls out of a tree, you get into a car accident because of another idiot. You can't foresee that. But if you plan your life, your day-to-day life out correctly, every week, take that $5-10 and go get some canned food. And you'll be shocked how quick that adds up. Folks are like, oh, I don't want to prep because you have so much and they have zero. And I'm like, no, that's the opposite of what you should do. You should start immediately, but start small. Go buy your green beans for dinner tonight, but instead of getting 2 cans, get 4 and put 2 somewhere else. And that's your stash. You got to get rice. Don't get the little bag, get the bigger bag, store half, put it in the stash. The other half you cook dinner with. And you keep doing that, and over time you will have a whole inventory of stuff that you weren't expecting to have, and it didn't screw up your budget. And same with the exercise and the fitness, whatever you're doing. Practice, take time, learn the skills. Don't do the people, God, we should have been dead like 52 times this year already, according to some of these YouTubers, and it frustrates me. And I think it was Survival Living was very upset on one of his videos. And I think it's Survival Living, I can't remember. But he's actually a outdoor, like, mountaineering woodsman trainer. Like, he's certified to train. Hey, Keto, what's going on, Jess? On lighting, smokes, and figure out coffee. And he said that someone was watching a YouTuber who said you can live off grid with these items, or they said something stupid. Hey, Frank, a $5 paycheck. Yeah. And it wasn't Canadian. It was someone else said this stupidity, and these 2 ladies and one of their teenage sons went into the Rockies in Colorado to live off grid for 2 months, and they just disappeared, and they were found by a hiking couple who were doing a day pack, and they went up into the mountains and saw a tent, and they went to greet like the campers, like, oh hey, hi, passing through, because they had to go through the trail by their tent, and they were dead. They were like passed out on the floor. And they're trying to do an autopsy. It didn't look like a bear or anything. It looked like they may have been carbon monoxide poisoning in the tent. And he was upset. He's like, the stupidity of someone on YouTube may have killed these people. Okay, rabid coyote, he did too. Yeah. It is thinning the herd, but at the same time, and this is just me as an engineer, right? Because I actually belong to a fraternal order of people who are engineers and scientists. And like, one of our things is, you know, much like doctors do no harm, an engineer is supposed to put life and the well-being of people before profitability, which, you know, a lot of people don't in general. But, and I took that personally, right? So like, I don't want to say something that someone will take as gospel, and I try not to, although I get on my rants, and then somebody goes and does that, you know? But it blows my mind. You know, we all say things, and we may be right or wrong, or the circumstance, and for me, may be different for you. But when you have people literally in their headline, sell it all, the economy's ending, buy what you need because it won't matter next month, and people actually go, yeah, rabid coyote, I'm at 3,000 foot elevation in West Texas. I used to live on the coast. It took me months to be able to run up here and adjust my body because of the higher altitude. And that's only 3,000 feet. So being in the mountains, I can't even fathom that. But you know, some people are just doing this stuff, and it's terrible. Don't do that. Be consistent, but have a little reserve, right? Because emergencies happen. I blew out a tire coming back from the shooting range the other day. Either you have the skills or you don't. I tell people, do your research, know your limits. Right, bug out, absolutely. And yeah, Glenn's even higher than I am. People also need to exercise common sense, right? And so on the one hand, I understand Survival Living was upset because those folks were actually taking someone's advice. But you also have to say, hey, you need to, in my early age, Mr. Architects and engineers were a nightmare in my early life. Well, there are two types of engineers, right? There's the office guy who sits there and, you know, they tell the guy in the field, oh yeah, put this tank here, and there's a boulder there, and the guy in the field's like, there's a rock, and they argue with each other on the phone. And then you have the operations engineer, the field engineer, which is what I did, where I'm like, I'll look at the rock and go, I think I have det cord, and then I'll go. And we've actually done that. We had to remove something which was totally not allowed. We had to call it in and make sure we had the docs. They had to call the ATF and tell them, hey, this is what we have to remove this from a project. And then we went and removed an object out in the countryside that was absolutely blocking everything. But yeah, you do get those engineers who sit in the office and they don't I deal with they do make a lot of money, Nostra, that's for sure. But they if they're at least going out on regular basis and putting eyes on the operation, that's a good thing. The ones that cause problems are the ones that sit in the high-rise buildings in like Dallas and New York, and they don't come out to the field, and their steel toes are clean. Right. The young guys who are out west that they're like, oh, I'm going to go audit today, and they spend like 2 days just auditing locations. Those are the guys, they do good. There are a lot of young guys in the business too now. But yeah, you do have to practice. Yeah, Virginia Bushcrafter, absolutely. And Virginia did a great, what was it, making a fire during Vision's camp out. So the Virginia Bushcrafter has some really neat videos on how to do stuff. But practice some of this stuff. But when you hear weird stuff, some fringy things like you're going to die tomorrow or run up your credit cards, don't do that. Okay, I promise you, look, I have affiliate links. You're not going to die if you find a better deal somewhere else. I'm also a business guy, right? If you save money for you, that's money you can put toward your family or you can put towards somewhere else. being a welder, we always had to fix. Like I said, the engineers, yeah, and then I'm the guy with the dead cord who's like, I could just blow it up, but then that probably wouldn't be what they'd want me to do. Although dead cord is fun, you should use in moderation. Weld a bunch here too, but you be consistent. I guess that's my message, my Monday motivation this morning. Be consistent. You act like I made money. I couldn't buy stupid joke. But no, I'm just saying people say these things and don't realize some folks are taking them for gospel. And don't do it. Don't do it. If you get the best deal you can for you and your situation, and that's what's important. That's why you'll notice I'll never say, oh, buy me a coffee below. If you do, that's fine. I don't care. You take care of your families first and be consistent. Don't spend anything you don't have to. Find the best deals. And that's one of the reasons I do a lot of product reviews that I have no relationship with. There's shit I buy, I'm like, that might work for me, and then it fails. And I'll do a review and say, hey, this shit broke. Look, don't buy this because it breaks. And I've actually had one company email me and tell me to take a video down. I'm like, no, I bought your product and it failed. So I'm teaching from money to. Well, Joe, your short videos are funny as shit, by the way. Like, people can relate to those day-to-day painful things that you talk about. Yeah, I had one company was like, thanks for the critical review, but can you take that down? I'm not going to take it down. I bought the shit. I paid my money for it, and the shit failed. So I don't want all my followers to go buy the same shit. Till you got to get out there and do the job. I've changed. I think engineers should. Okay, so Frank, interesting. To get my job when I was a young guy in the field, I went out with a crew, and the guy in charge said, get out of the unit. Because we had like a truck with the computers and all the equipment. He's like, go, you see the foreman over there? I'm like, yeah. He said, do what he does for the next 6 months. And he ran me out of the trailer. And so I got coveralls and steel toes, and I spent the first 6 months of my career with my degree following the foreman around, doing all his shit. And I promise you, by the end of my second year, I could run the crane, I could run the forklift, I could run the bulldozer, I could use the explosives, I knew the computers, I knew it all. But they kicked me out, and it saved my butt, because on one occasion, a guy showed up to work and he had food poisoning. He was in no condition to work. And I had to do the rig ups with the one remaining guy on the location. And I needed to know where all the chains were. But you're absolutely right. To your point, I was better in my career because they kicked me out of the computer and out of the paperwork, and they ran my ass out of the trailer. And when they don't do that, they get into this. And especially now, half the young people don't know how to use damn Excel. So it's, yeah, no, I feel your pain. Because then I'd be the engineer out there with guys like you, and someone in the office is like, no, you have to do that. And I'm arguing with them. I'm like, no, I'm overruling you because I'm on location. So that's the other nice thing. You got to find one of those psychotic engineers in the field like me who'd be like, hey, tell this guy we can't do this. And then he'll go and yell at the guy in the office. Wait, Heroics said, so doggone it ate Heroics chat. Y'all, this is crazy. But anyway, I think I got to get about my day. I got a few things I got to do now that they're probably going to need me in a meeting in an hour or so. So anyway, you guys be good, be safe. Yes, put the extra money away. Whether you pay a little more mortgage, that's an absolutely good idea. You invest it, you save it, you buy extra cans. Send my guys to the... Yeah, absolutely, Deuce. Oh, Monique, yeah. Yeah, because the guy on the field and the guy in the office, they get angry at each other. He's like, well, you come out here, Those are fun to listen to as long as you're not stuck in the middle of it. Listen, guys, consistency, be careful, be safe. Don't freak out. Don't. And there's plenty of stuff going on we need to watch, but don't freak. Hey, Red October, I'm about to shut it down, brother, but good morning and thanks for joining me. Don't forget to hit like on the way out. It helps my algorithm horse shit. But you guys be good, be safe, and be careful while you're out there. And remember consistency. Budget it out. Take your time. I'll see y'all later. God bless.